I need a motion to reconvene open session.
Second.
All in favor of reconvening? We'd like to welcome you this evening to our monthly board meeting. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one special recognition this evening, and we'd like to recognize the Guardian Hawks. And we don't have a representation from the primary, so I think Dr. Isaacson is going to take care of that.
All right, we'd like to thank our Guardian Hawks PTO group. They have just approved a donation throughout their fundraising efforts. They are going to be providing the district with a new swing set, new swings, picnic tables for our playground. In addition to the playground equipment, they are purchasing an ice maker for the staff lounge. The Guardian Hawks PTO is comprised of parents, staff, volunteers. They work very hard throughout the entire year to organize family-friendly fundraisers, and all proceeds are used to purchase items that support the primary school. So they're actually having a construction company doing the install and putting rubber mulch down. Total donation is about $18,000, a little over that. So very appreciative of what they do for us. So that will be ready for the start of school. So that's it.
We don't have any visitors signed up to address the board, so we'll jump in. First item up this evening is the action items by consent. So I need a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Angie. Second, John. Any discussion on any of those items? Okay, we'll take a vote then. All in favor of approving the items on the consent agenda? Raise your hand. Okay. Motion carries. We'll get started then with our first report this evening. Sorry. Our financial report is up first. Yeah, that's why I looked at it.
I don't really have a whole lot to tell you tonight, except that if you look at my graphs, that's a better representation of all the numbers. You can see that our trend lines are all following the same way. Scroll down a little bit. Our operating funds, as far as this graph, you can't really tell on this graph because it's so small. But where that blue line is, they kind of came together. We're about equal where we were. That purple line, which is this year, ran into the blue line down on the end. So, anyway, I think we're going to be at 15-16% by the time we get everything finalized. But I'm still working on year entries and things like that. So that's good. That's better than we thought it would be. As far as all the rest, can you scroll down a little bit more, Erin? Because the numbers, the revenue and expenditures were both pretty much what we thought they would be as projected. And as far as closing the year, like I said, I'm working on closing up the year, getting all my entries made, and then uploading my information. And Jesse's upload process is a little bit different this year. They changed the platform, so hopefully that is a little seamless for me, and I do that in August. So Other than that, we've just been real busy trying to get everything wrapped up and started up for the new year. We had our secretaries meeting this week. Because all the secretaries came back and the buildings and secretary ones, and I think it went real good. We had them for about a half of a day. Wednesday, was that Wednesday? And, we had one new secretary, so I think everybody, the other secretaries have been kind of helping her out. They've taken her under their wing, so that's good, and we're gonna be ready to go. Any questions? Be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll hear from Technology Department.
Presentation and a board report at the same time. So technology work orders were low with the summer. We don't get as many submissions, everybody's gone, but we have projects that last quite a while, weeks or a few months, so we're working on those projects. One of those projects is our Windows 7 operating system upgrade, and we're continuing to try to get our Windows 7 computers updated to Windows 10. The Moses June cycle was certified by Karen, and that involves verifying all of the data for the entire school year. Gmail and Active Directory accounts have been created for new staff. We've then updated our iPad management solution to Apple School Manager. Anthony Campus, all their accounts were created for that as well, for staff, and accounts have been removed for staff leaving. We also moved over to our new internet provider, which is AT&T from Warnet. We doubled our speed and saved some money along the way. And, the migration went really well.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up will be Director Best, Facility and Grounds.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Well, my report's going to start with that too, because we're kind of like technology and everyone. We're just basically trying to get things wrapped up for the summer, get ready for the school year and everything. We got most of all the floors almost being closed. We got one more week to finish up. We're all ready done by next Friday. So we're just mainly in the hallways and some big areas. So all the rooms and buildings are looking good. We did want to thank on public why we had Victory Church out with us on our Surf Day this past month. They came in and helped us at the high school. Did a lot of the primary. We got a good chance to see some of the painting and some of the different things we're doing over there. I think you'll really like that one. So, but they were really big help for us again this year. This is being our third year. So blessing all of them folks that come out and give us great hands. So they did a super job for us. So we thank them. But other than that, though, we basically, junior high, if you got a chance to see a new gym floor, I think we took a picture last month for you, but it looks really good. So we're just basically just trying to wrap all the HVAC systems up and try and get them on key, get the kitchens all up and running. Still got some issues and some equipment issues, but we're working on all those. So basically, and of course, I'm sure if you drove the campus, you've seen all the paving going on. So we've still got some work to do on them, and we'll talk about some of them tonight, I'm sure. But we, it's going to look good this year. It's going to look great. So we're excited. We're making some progress. So I'll give you a bigger rundown of all the stuff we tried to accomplish this summer, the last few months on the next board meeting. I have some videos and stuff, show you a few before and after shots for you, and I think you'll like some of those. So, but that'll be next month. So other than that, it's going to be a few months. Been busy. So well, thank you for everything you guys do for us.
Keep us in suspense until next month.
It'll be fun. It'll be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Wright, for the superintendent's report.
All right, in the superintendent's report, I included some information about some new board training requirements, with legislation that was signed by the governor. The key parts of that that will apply for you all is the 1 hour and kind of follow-up training that must include training on the prevention of sexual abuse of children. And so I'll follow up with what that training may include, or has to include, and it could even be the online training that the employees get. It's just, I just want to confirm that. That would probably be the simplest form to do that. One of the things that over the next few months we're going to include in the superintendent report is just enrollment data, academic data, and stuff that kind of some history, and then also our present, in addition to some of the stuff that Ms. Hildebrand will talk about academically in the current year. It's kind of like, hey, using our Forecast 5 information and pulling some information, you know, that kind of tells our story financially, et cetera. We'll just throw those in there as we're developing them. The first one that I included as an attachment is our enrollment story, which we've kind of had a lot of conversation about our enrollment. We see that we've been decreasing. This is through the year 2018 because it's all based off the ASBR and DESE data. And so as you look, if you look like the class size, where it shows the difference, where was that drop? It showed them as second graders. That small group, the second graders here are actually fourth graders this school year. So we've had that trend with the information as we get at this as the state data. I can tell you, when you look at our long-term enrollment, it's interesting to me that in 2009, we had, in 2010, we had about 3,639 students. This past school year, we're in 3,300. And we've been decreasing about 50 students per grade level all the way from that fourth grade class on. One kind of interesting side note is I was going through some files at central office. There was a letter written to teachers in 1984 from Dr. Cheney, the superintendent at the time. And he was talking about enrollment. And the enrollment that year, my guess 83, 84, had went up 100 students. The enrollment in the district was like 2,984 students. Which, when you look at our enrollment now, roughly 300-400 students over a 30-year period. It's kind of interesting. Even with all the new growth, is kind of an interesting trend. When you look at, there's a correlation, I'm kind of jumping around so you can review that later on, but between the live birth data, and there's a correlation there that shows, hey, this is the kids that are born in our area, 63050. Where do they end up going to school? So we can make predictions in the future for planning. Hey, what is the class size going to be in 2021? And we're predicted to continue to go down or to kind of remain flat. Probably then we'll start seeing an increase. But for the next few years, based on this information, we expect to remain fairly flat. And that's why we've made some of those changes in staffing as we move forward. So that's where this information becomes helpful and as we continue to build on it. The very last little slide there was the steepest decline in enrollment has been at the primary, down 7%, from where they were. So as some of those bubble classes go through, that's where Mr. Redenauer, middle elementary here, had that increase. That's moving to the junior high, and then ultimately will go up to the high school. So just kind of a overview of that.
The one thing, while I was looking at this, I wanted to share was that underneath the enrollment story, although the enrollments decreased, the needs have increased. Our Title I needs have increased. I thought that was an interesting observation or interesting data to look at.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of the things when we talked about, as it impacts teachers. The point that you're making is that, like, the low-income ELL is that, increased 5%. Even some of the diversities become more diverse. Not significant, but
the needs have increased.
The needles have increased, yeah. Include the open house dates in each of our buildings for this school year. On August 12th at 8 o'clock, everyone's invited to our back to school welcome back for our teachers. We're gonna have a continental breakfast at 7:30. I'll be late to the first welcome back to superintendent. At 7:30 will be a continental breakfast, and then we'll start our program, and we have a speaker coming, talking with us from Houston, Character Strong. And then we have a barbecue in the afternoon with some games for our staff, so it'll be a good time. And then the first day of school will be the 15th. I'd like to put some information in there this afternoon, thanking our transportation department. I neglected to announce that we had achieved a score of 90.5 approval rating during the Missouri State Highway Patrol 2019 annual inspection. And so the Hillsborough District may display the Total Fleet Excellence sticker on all of our buses operating the district during this next school year. So the full report is attached to the public file. One of the things this week I wanted to make special mention of is I was going through, we're getting all the transcripts from teachers returning in their hours. And I wanted to thank the Board of Education, as I wrote there, for this decision. A couple of years ago, we switched from, once you had your master's degree, in order to move over in the pay scale, you had to go get a master's degree in a specialist to be a superintendent, or some other degree like that. Even when people had no desire to go be a superintendent or move to central office or get a degree like that, is we made that change to where someone could take classes that were in their subject area, the benefit of them. And this is, I pulled this right off a transcript. This was a teacher at the intermediate, and who over this past year has taken 3-hour classes online through Loyola Marymount University in classes of writing well, writing good, use of tablets for 21st century instruction, cultivating student-centered classrooms, etc. I mean, these are all classes that are going to benefit the kids. So we're already seeing, I think that's going to be much more helpful. So, included the purchase of Bridle Ridge press release, and I will also will be putting in the purchase sale agreement for the public to read within that. I thought neglected to put that in there on there, so I'll do that as soon as we get complete the meeting here. When you talk about open house, when we like to do kind of that dedication or open house to visit our new construction. You know, the buildings that completed last year, but also we have our special education area at the elementary and the new classroom addition there. Do we want to host a community walkthrough? Do we want to do some sort of dedication? How do we want to do this? Do we want to do all in one day or afternoon? Do we want to do it in the evening? Do we want to do it during the day? Tie it with open house? Thoughts, input, availability?
I think if we're gonna be here potentially on August 8th, it might be good to tie it in.
Okay.
Either late or after, or that afternoon. I don't know, that being some work school.
Mr. Bass? August 8th?
We should be fine.
Those areas
So
of
works for you.
access to like the rooms, what's it? Oh, the roof. Primary. We'll be working on the roof at that time, won't they?
Yeah, they might be finishing up they should be finishing up the primary though.
In the classroom.
Yes, they won't. Teachers will still be, trying to transform things.
Do we want to wait potentially after school starts and probably right around that 1st of September, and then there'll be a lot of new things to look at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe do it then?
Because the other open house night, that'll be too crazy to do that.
Okay. So early September, kind of like,
Sure.
hey, look at all the new things.
So we'll get people back in, we're here and now they can come in again. Into September,
End of September.
the 27th. Yeah, it's that so the board meeting, can we move that then, because,
We move that to that Tuesday.
or the Tuesday, okay. So, that first week, because you have, is the first, is that, when's Memorial, or Labor Day weekend? That's from August to September, right?
Yes.
That's the second. So maybe that second full week of September? I don't know what night of the week is better.
You're talking over the 9th?
Uh-huh. Anybody have a preference that week?
I won't be here that week, so.
Okay,
you guys
well,
go
we don't
ahead
have to
and
do that.
No, you don't have to.
What's this, the week of the 16th? Are you,
I'm here.
okay. Anybody else? Have an issue with that? Because we would love to be here.
I'm available anytime.
Is one night better than the other for some of you guys, or for school?
That was,
Because sports start, I don't know how busy that week is. I mean, you're always busy. You have something all the time.
Tuesday night, probably the lightest night.
Okay.
We just, a couple weeks ago, we went through all of September because we had to choose our Meet the Teacher night, and ours is Thursday, September 5th, I believe.
Okay.
And that was the one night we didn't have too much going on.
On the 17th?
No, it was the
The
5th.
5th.
So after that, I'm not really sure. Do you remember?
I'd say typically
Wednesdays are the
Wednesdays are
lightest,
usually lighter
but it's
than
church
most,
night.
but
Yeah.
it just,
We try really hard.
there's a
to
reason
stay-
it's lighter, I
Yeah.
would say.
September 5th?
Can we do it then? The people are gonna be on campus anyhow, just generally.
Yeah, but how much juggling will it be for you? You didn't have a lot of stuff in your building, did you?
No. They didn't have anything.
Yeah.
What are the hours of Meet the Teacher night at the high school?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. And what if we do right beforehand?
Well, how are we gonna do it? Because you've got different locations.
True.
And go from one to the other, I don't know, because you wanna show off the primary or the elementary.
Gather somewhere first.
You could have
Talk a
buses.
little bit about it, and
We have a
then
bus.
go around to each building. You could have shuttle buses.
Yeah, or if we just all go as a big group from one place to the other.
And then schedule like a, kind of dedicating, taking a picture in front of each one at 6:15, 6:30. So it's, kind of a 2 hour to do all of it.
It'd be nice to end at the high school, be there for part of Meet the Teacher night as well.
Be great.
I have more kids in the building, but I still want to do it.
Well, how about you look at that, maybe
Okay.
look at that week and
Okay.
you guys can kind of, if the rest of us are good on that week, then you guys can work out the details per se.
Okay.
Unless you need us to do
No,
something.
well, that's all, we can figure that out, we'll,
Okay,
Wednesday.
we could always put Mr. Reed in our charge.
Whatever you need.
I'm just kidding.
don't say that.
Okay. So is that everything, Jim, or we still have
I think
something
so.
left?
I just wanted to make a brief mention, we're having a board meeting on August 8th. We put that meeting, and it's on the schedule for personnel, hiring last minute for the start of the school year. But I did want to make a mention that we are going to have some open session agenda items. Approval of a lender for the lease purchase, RFP that is out right now for the purchase of Bridle Ridge. And then the approval of a new full-time bus aid position that's gonna be a bus aid, quasi daytime, doing other duties. We're developing that job description. That'll be open session. So just wanted to make that announcement publicly that we will be conducting those two business items that day in order to get that person hired at August 22nd. Regarding the purchase of concrete, as we're going through some of that information and working through the closing date of September 3rd. So we're in that process of ordering the title search, the survey, considering inspections, both environmental and then the normal inspection, and then we'll work with the bank on the appraisal because they'll do that process. So any thoughts on that or anything particular? Just so that everyone's in the loop regarding our due diligence that we're going through that process. There will also be a posting in the newspaper. Ms. Ginge, regarding, can you explain that?
We are required by law to post if we're gonna enter into any purchase of real property. So that will, I sent that ad off and that should run in next week's leader. And we won't finalize those lease documents until the 22nd, or August 22nd board meeting. So Gilmore Bell's kind of helping me to help me with the posting, and he reached out with helping us write the lease agreement.
And the RFP that we put out was for a loan, lease
The RFP.
purchase for $590,000.
Correct. And I requested a 10-year structure, but said alternative structures were welcome as well. So I would anticipate to see maybe some shorter term structures. Let's see what we get.
Okay. So we don't have any unfinished business, so we'll move on then to starting the agenda for new business. The first item that we have to complete is officially fill our position for board secretary. So I need, or ask for nominations for secretary to the Board of Education.
I nominate Beth Ann Johnson.
Thank you. Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, so we have a motion for Beth Ann with the second by Jay. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving Beth Ann Johnston as our board secretary? Motion carries. Congratulations. Welcome back. We're glad you're here. We couldn't get through this without you. Okay. Next item is the approval of the nursing agreement. So I need a motion to approve the Team Select Home Care Nursing Agreement for the 2019-20 school year. Thank you, Renee. Second, or Angie. Any discussion on that agreement? This is one of the items that we do annually. Okay?
Wish Medicaid was cheaper. Yeah. Out of our control.
All right. So, all in favor of approving the Team Select Nursing Agreement for the next school year? Motion carries. Then we'll move to the Society of the Blind and Visually Impaired Agreement. So I need a motion to approve the Society of the Blind and Visually Impaired Agreement for the 2019 and 20 school year. Thank you, John. Thank you, Renee. Any discussion on that agreement?
Is there not an opportunity, because it looks like we're paying for travel time and mileage. Did we talk about this before? And there's just no way to negotiate that?
I
or-
I mentioned it a long time ago.
Yeah. And this is the,
I don't know what the result was.
That's something that we reached out to. We've worked with them for about 10 years now. They're basically the only agency that actually provides a vision therapist and a Braille. That's
They
it.
kind of set the terms.
They have said that they monopolize the system in some form or fashion. I did reach out after you had the question about that,
Thank you.
and that was one of the comments back, and they're kind of aware of that. But any district that needs that service, that's the agency that is contacted, unless you have about students that you can have your own come in. So, yeah.
Were there any changes in any of the rates? I
On
don't remember if I read that.
So I think on this one right here, what they ended up doing, I believe this is the one.
Was there an increase at all?
Yeah, they had a $1.25 hourly rate increase in the travel one. Their service hours stayed the same. They have not, this is the first rate increase on that since I believe 2015. It's been about 3 to 4 years since we've had a rate increase on that piece of it.
So they increased the rate for their travel time?
Last year, they increased the rate for the service, which is typical. It's one of those back and forth pieces. So last year, it was the service rate. This year, they kept the service rate the same. Then they increased the travel rate piece of it. So it's that kind of that back and forth that we usually see.
Kind of overgirl.
Well, yeah, our students need it, right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that, you
Yeah.
know, there's not other
It's one of the
providers that we could
correct.
take it to bid.
And it's something that I always reach out to just to kind of see if there's any new ones that are out there. But they happen to be the one that's.
Well, if you can keep your ears open.
Oh yeah, I definitely do on that end of it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? So we have a motion to approve this agreement. All in favor? Okay, motion carries. The next agreement is coming from the KAB Consulting. So we need a motion to approve that consulting agreement for the 2019-20 school year. Thank you, Renee.
Second.
Angie, second. Thank you. Thoughts or concerns about that agreement? Okay. All in favor of approving the KAB Consulting agreement? Okay, so this is just real exciting stuff tonight. Now we need a motion for the supplemental health care agreement for occupational and physical therapy services for the next school year. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Angie and John. Discussion. These are all services we have to provide. Okay, if there's no discussion, all in favor of approving the agreement for the health care and occupational physical therapy? All right, motion carries. Okay. Next, we have our purchase card listing, all the names that of those who are allowed to use that. I need a motion to approve the district purchase card listing as presented.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Nancy. Second? Renee. So hopefully you reviewed that list of cardholders and the amounts, the limits, how much they can use at one time.
I just have one question, it's just out of curiosity, and I don't expect an answer at all tonight. However, I noticed that some of the cards have a transaction limit and some don't. I'm assuming it's based on role or position within the district.
It is.
Any other questions? Okay. Then we need to vote on that motion to approve the purchase card listing. All in favor? All opposed? No. Okay, motion carries. Okay, item G is approving of the additional amount of $39,826.24 to, is it Bowman or Ballman? Ballman Contracting to complete the junior high parking area. So I need a motion to approve that, and then we'll discuss.
I make a motion.
Thank you. And second John. Okay, discussion then on that issue.
I was confused, because I just wanted some clarity. The additional 39,000, is that on top? Have we already paid the 158?
No, that's a
Is
combination.
the combination?
Yeah.
Okay.
The original bid was for about around that $120,000 range.
Okay. So that is a combined cost.
So this is the amount needed to finish the project.
Correct.
And we still have bond money that's covering that 31,000.
Yes.
How much was that?
I brought the
Oh.
spreadsheet, but I hadn't
Yeah, I did not bring it with me.
reconciled it.
We were
Is it-
updating
is
sped
there a
numbers.
rough ballpark or what's?
After this, 200, I would say.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's getting.
It's 200 or 12,000?
Big difference.
$2? How many zeros?
200, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, now we're like gumballs.
okay. Woo! Need to get the piggy bank. Okay, any other questions about this issue?
No, we need asphalt.
Well, we have to finish it.
We have to finish it. There's no.
Okay. Okay, so the motion then is to approve an additional amount of 39,000 plus to Ballman Contracting. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. The last item, oh, wow, we are just flying through this, is the salary schedule for mechanics, and this is a new schedule, correct? So we'll start with motion and then we'll discuss. So I need a motion to approve the mechanic salary schedule revision beginning with 2019-20 school year.
Make a motion.
Okay. Second? Okay. Okay. She did Renee. So anything you want to share with us about that item?
Yes. I do want to just kind of give an overview is, and we've talked about this in the past, we're having a transportation department with our own in-house busing is trying to stay competitive for hiring diesel mechanics. And Mr. Gosha has been with us for a lot of years, so we've been able to kind of rely on that. And as we plan for the future, is we've had some turnover with the other position. We've also tried, we have had a shop attendant. Roughly, as I was looking at this, we had, our shop attendant had resigned. If you remember, we had that position open. And then, so we had talked about increasing our salary then. I was actually approached by one of the mechanics. We visited, and since then we've had a mechanic resign. In part, I would imagine, due to some of the salary type items. And so, as I was figuring out, roughly right now, we're spending just in salary about $57 an hour in salary. When you're combining all three positions. Is in order to attract qualified diesel mechanics, is we need to increase our salary. For that is because our starting salary was roughly $16 an hour, and we're just not drawing the ability levels to do what we need to do at that salary. We've been lucky. A few of the individuals we've gotten lucky and they've been able to do some of that, but not to the extent that we haven't set stuff off. And when you're setting stuff off, what is the, Ms. Phillips, the build rate? If we're sending a bus to a shop, 120 an hour?
120, 125, depending on which one I go, I have to send it out to. Or we can have a text sent to us if we can't really tow it. Same thing.
And so
Then
as
you've got
we
travel
look
time too.
at that rate, obviously it's imperative to have a mechanic with ability to do that. Otherwise, we're going to end up paying for a mechanic anyhow because you're sending it away. So what I did in developing the salary schedule, this was kind of difficult, we kind of putting it together, is when we had one salary schedule, we found that we were either underpaying, so we weren't drawing the level that we probably needed to get to, or we were overpaying. In order to get there, then you had the potential to hire somebody that didn't have a skill set to save you money, as far as we're still shipping a lot of stuff off, but we're overpaying them. Or you're making the salary schedule so elongated that an individual that's been with us for a while is making $45 an hour. And so in looking at it, I actually did some research, going into Cummins actually, and their diesel mechanic posting. They had a level 1, level 2, level 3, and kind of used their breakdown of how they equated that, and then developed a salary schedule based off that. So kind of a level 1 technician is somebody that's worked with diesel engine experience, qualified to perform the work, but requires supervision, requires somebody to go check their workmanship. You know, and we're dealing with buses and brakes and safety of kids. So that obviously the lowest paying. A level 2 technician, and I asked Mr. Ghosh to come up to my office. And we sat around, came around the desk, and we went through this. We kind of, Mr. Ghosh, he'd be a level 2 technician for us. You know, he's got a relevant diesel experience. He's got a lot of experience, can fix moderately complex maintenance and repair, but he doesn't have the certifications from the manufacturers. Some of the electronics, he just doesn't. That's the stuff that, once it gets beyond him, we're setting off. And so we have a level 3 technician. This person, and you can see that my expectations grew, was this person is significant diesel technician experience, qualified to perform work on most everything. Basically what we want to draw is a level of mechanic that's at the shop that we're sending it to. So instead of paying $118 an hour, we're getting that mechanic to oversee our buses. Long term, like as we post this, we may see an increase in our mechanic salary because Mr. Ghosh is a level 2 and he's a veteran who's been here a while. So he's going to would have a pay increase serving that role. Or if we could hire and find a level 3 technician to kind of assume that role, Mr. Ghosh is like, I'd love to learn from someone. Like, he's secure enough of like, hey, is then on our next hire, then it gives us a flexibility. We're not necessarily looking for a level 2, to look for a level 1 for that person to train. But we have that person that's saving us money because they're up to speed on, they have certifications and those international certifications, Volvo, and we would look for that. An apprenticeship diesel mechanic, and then getting their state certified inspection. One of the things with this salary schedule as well is it's not board policy. We looked at this is typically we would only like bring in 5 years on our classified. This is we have to give relevant diesel experience and it may be above 5 years. It's, they put that on there. It's because you want somebody with experience. You don't want, this is my 2nd year working on a school bus. But also, with that experience you're going to pay for, it's going to push that salary up so that we're going to be able to draw veteran people that work on school buses or diesel engines, which we will see savings, I believe, by not sending some stuff off, because we kind of pulled what we had sent over the last couple of years. Ms. Phillips kind of broke this down, you know, there's $6,518 that we had sent for repair. Now you're going to have parts, but you're going to have that labor cost where we're going to recoup some of that increase. So that's the thought process. Our goal, if you approve this tonight, will be to absorb the shop attendant. We're going to go down to 2, but hire highly qualified people. And I talk with them like they're going to have to hustle. They'll be doing all the oil changes, all of that. But we think that you know, with the salary increase, you know, it creates, we're dependent upon our mechanics from the standpoint of, it creates a situation where we're more afraid to lose a mechanic than they're afraid of losing us. And that affects some job performance too. No, I mean, this, you know, Mr. Busher does a great job.
Yeah, not him.
I want to clear, not, but it's just something that's a concern. It's kind of, well, you, I can leave you and make, and I hear that, I can leave and go make $20 more an hour,
They can.
and they can't. It's so, trying to be competitive there.
So we're gonna go from 3 people.
So, 3 individuals to 1, so we're saving the insurance, you know, which is $7,200, you know, and when you, if you add, like, Mr. Gosha, you know, if you had somebody that's making $30 an hour, and we have somebody bringing in 31, we're paying $61 an hour in the shop. We're currently paying 57, and that's where you're looking at the increase budgetarily, you know, that times $2,080. So,
Any questions for?
I really don't know, but you broke it down cost-wise, outsourcing this year. Do you have a history,
Ms. Skent,
like an average?
The previous year, so when we look at the previous year in that account, we spent like 9,000 total, so maybe 5 of it. We just kind of looked at a 2-year history. But it was a lot higher this past year. I think we just probably had a
Well, as
lot
they
more
get older,
issues.
imagine it would
Sure.
just keep going up.
Yeah, so.
Just curious.
Any other questions? Okay then, so the motion to approve this new salary schedule is on the table. All in favor of approving the mechanics, or approving this new schedule? Okay, very good. And it will start in the 2019-20 school year and be effective on August 1st, 2019 for our current employees. Okay. All right, well, that was the last item for this evening. So, we have a motion to adjourn by John, second? Second. Wow. Unison. Could you do it in harmony next time? This is a big one, I don't know. It's big. That's fine. Okay, all in favor of adjourn? Raise your hand. Okay. Thank you for attending this evening. You're welcome.